Hello, beautiful queen, and welcome to the Toned and Transformed podcast, where we learn how to shape our bodies, tone our bodies, get rid of our belly, and find our true identity and fulfillment in Christ. And the topic of today is gonna be more physically centered. It's gonna be science backed up, and it's gonna help you a lot when you are striving to reduce that stubborn belly fat. We're gonna talk about my favorite topic, the gut. Because by restoring the gut and by doing the right things, I have helped my clients reduce 5 to 9 centimeters in 30 days around their belly without starving, without calories, and without having to do more sports. And this is why I am so passionate about this topic, because this is the topic that most people just don't tell you in the diet industry. They just tell you to eat less, to move more, to take Ozempic or whatever, or that it's just your genetics or your age. And if you've been moving, if you've been training, and you've been eating healthy, but still you don't get rid of this belly fat, and you feel like the more you do, the worse, then you need to stay here and listen to those 5 truths I learned and I got reaffirmed and confirmed in a gut training that I am doing right now. And those who know me, who have been following me for a long time, you know that I love to educate myself and to always be up to date, and I never want to stay where I am, because if I would know the same things that I knew even 2 years ago, I would never be able to give my clients those insane results. And I have been giving my clients insane results for years, but with everything that I learned, because I am obsessed on learning about our anatomy, our human body, and how everything is connected. And the more I learn, the better I'm able to help my clients in a much, much easier way. And what I always do when I learn something is that I don't just learn and keep it in the background, because things that you learn and that you do not teach and do not practice, they just rot and they just fall away. What I do instead is that I listen to the things, I try them on myself, I try them on my current clients, and I start teaching them. When I see that they work, I want to know how the things feel, how they affect the body, and so on. And with that, I have been able to create insane results. And with that, over the years, I have created my signature method, the flat belly reset. But now let's dive deep into the 5 truths that I got reconfirmed, and also that some new stuff that I learned in yesterday's gut training. It's a 3-part training of 3 Tuesdays, and I am just so excited to share with you what I've learned. And if you want me to share the other things that I learned in the next trainings, let me know, comment down below. But those things that I'm gonna share with you here, they're gonna blow your mind, and they're gonna change the way you see fitness and belly fat forever. And if you practice some of the things, then they are gonna help you reduce that belly. So let's dive right in, and let's start with point number 1, or with truth number 1. And I really love this analogy, so I'm just gonna say it right away. Your gut walls are like a studio apartment. Now you may be asking yourself, what does a studio apartment have to do with my gut walls? Well, the gut walls in and of itself are the biggest surface that is in contact with the with your outer world, with your body actually, like with your bloodstream. And we often think that the biggest surface is our skin, because it is a big surface, but this is actually only 2 square meters. Whereas the gut, if you would open it up and lay it all over, it would be actually around 400 square meters, but there is approximately 32 square meters that are in direct contact and absorption with your bloodstream. So that can affect what goes on in the rest of your body. So we're not taking the 400 square meters, we're taking the 32 that actually have an impact. So now those 32 square meters are the size of a studio apartment, right? And what happens is that through those gut walls, you get in contact with your body. So you have to imagine the studio apartment, and you have, it's like your body, your gut. So you're eating clean, you're doing sport, you're taking vitamins, supplements, and you're trying to do all the best things for your body. And this would be the same as you're cleaning up your apartment, and you're decluttering, and your floor is clean, and your windows are clean, and everything looks amazing. But when your apartment walls have holes in them, then, and also your ceiling, and then the rain comes, then your apartment will get dirty, will get messy, maybe it will get muddy, because all of the dirt is coming in because the walls are open. And this is what happens when you have a leaky gut, when you have holes in your gut walls, which most of us with our current lifestyle have. So you literally have holes in those gut walls. So as much as you eat clean and train and do those good things for your body, your apartment, your gut is gonna look messy from the inside. It's not gonna look well, and it's not gonna be a great environment. And as your gut is in contact with your body, it will affect everything. And we're gonna come to more of that, but it will affect your mood, it will affect your metabolism, it will affect where you store fat in your belly, and your cravings, and so much more. This is why we need to take the gut seriously, because it is literally the size of a studio apartment, which is pretty big when we compare it. So this is truth number 1. Now truth number 2, which may blow your mind, is that your gut bacteria are not just chemicals. They are living roommates. They are alive, they can think for themselves, and they have a free will. That means that they decide whether they want to live in your body or not. So if those roommates come to the apartment and the apartment is dirty, just as I told you before, it's full of mud, it's full of dirt and so on, they will not want to live there. Imagine that you're looking for a roommate for your flat, you want to share your flat, and then somebody comes and sees the mess. This person will not want to live there. But you cannot afford to not having your gut bacteria live in your gut. Your gut normally hosts around 100 plus trillion bacteria, and this bacteria is important because they help you digest your food well, regulate your mood, manage your cravings, and balance your hormones. And we are gonna dive a little bit into the importance of hormones on your body and especially on your fat loss. So they regulate your metabolism. They decide whether you have a good metabolism or not. And if you have a bad metabolism, forget losing fat easy. So you want those roommates to live with you because they're the ones who are gonna cook for you. They're the ones who are gonna clean up. They're the ones who are gonna look after you. So, and they are the only ones who can do the work there, because we ourselves cannot go and control what happens in our gut. This is what our bacteria does for us. So we want to create an amazing, a beautiful environment for the gut bacteria to live there, because if not, they're just gonna be flushed out. They're not gonna stay there. And then this will show up in more bloating, in fewer absorption of nutrients. So you can eat all of the vitamins that you want, your body is not gonna absorb it. Cravings, constant fatigue, stress, and stress leads to belly fat, and so it becomes a vicious cycle. So let's create an amazing environment for them to live in, and more on that on the next truth. Another truth that will probably just blow your mind is that when you're ordering pizza, it is not always you. It is actually your gut bacteria ordering pizza and Ben & Jerry's for you, because as we already confirmed, your gut bacteria are not just some chemicals. They are living creatures inside of you. And your gut and your brain are in constant communication. Your gut sends 90% of information directly to your brain. So the gut bacteria craves what it's used to, what it gets. So when you give your gut bacteria junk food only and sugar and so on, this is what it's gonna crave, and it's gonna send those signals to your brain, and then you're gonna wanna order the pizza, even though you decided you're gonna eat healthy, you're gonna take care of your body, you're gonna get in shape for your next beach vacation. But your gut bacteria doesn't care about that, and it will tell the brain, order pizza, order pizza, order pizza, and then eat a whole pint of Ben & Jerry's, and then without even noticing, or like without even being really able to control, no matter how much willpower you have, you end up eating all of this, and then you ask yourself, how did I get here again? So it's not always controlled by your willpower, it is controlled by your gut bacteria. And the good thing is, you can train this gut bacteria to order what you want, to order or cook foods that is good for your body, that is gonna help you tone your body, and that is gonna help you flatten your belly and also keep inflammation down and have that shape that you wanna have. It's not that you need to create more discipline in your mind, but you need to create more discipline in your gut. And it starts by feeding your body the right things. And with time, they will catch up. This is, by the way, exactly what we do in the Flat Belly Reset. And this is why my clients, they don't only reduce the belly fat, this is the reason why they don't crave those things anymore, why they don't want the sugar anymore. They can have it later after the reset, but they will not crave it as much. So this was truth number 3, and to me, it really, really blew my mind. And then another one that has a huge impact in your body, and the reason why you should not ignore it, is truth number 4, and it's your gut and hormones They are in constant conversation. And I remember a case of a client that I used to have years ago before I knew all of those things about guts and hormones and so on, where I was only teaching basically training, nutrition, counting calories, and so on. Like I had a huge knowledge on training and nutrition, and I was still getting my clients great results, but there were basic things lacking. And also I have to say, as I was younger, my clients were also younger. They were in their 20s, and in their 20s, and probably it was my luck as a trainer, your body gets away with only training and nutrition mostly. So giving you I don't know, a calorie number and making you train will give you results. But I had a client, she was also in her 20s, but she stored most fat around her belly, and this was really an issue for her. And she was that one client with the stubborn body. It took years to improve. She did improve, but it was a pain in the butt, really. And while other clients were improving so fast, for her, it was always so much effort, and the belly fat would be the thing that melted away very, very slowly. And one thing that I noticed back then is that whenever I gave her a tougher training, she would store more belly fat and she would not lose any more fat. And whenever I gave her a more relaxed training, which back then I thought would give her less results, she suddenly lost fat, and even around her belly. And I remember I discussed about this with her, and we were both like, how does that even work? Like, why is it that way? We were both clueless. I have to admit, yes, I was clueless back then because I didn't know all of those things that I know now. And this is why I always say that I love to educate myself and to learn new things and to be up to date. So back then, I didn't know why, she didn't know why, but we just knew it worked. I knew I had to give her lighter trainings for her to progress. And nowadays, it is just so logical for me why it was the case for her. Her body somehow, even though she was in her 20s, was much more sensible to stress, and all of those things that I will be describing right now were probably happening in her body. So the more stress we created with the training, the more stubborn her belly fat got. The more relaxing, the more her body could work. And this is because your gut and your hormones, they communicate. And I'll touch on 3 hormones here. I will touch on estrogen, cortisol, and the thyroid hormones, because they have a huge impact in how you're feeling and in how you're losing fat. So let's start off with the estrogen. So your estrogen is being used for you to have energy, for you to build muscle, and to create muscle, also to build fat. It is a building hormone. So it is being used to build. So you want to have it in the right kind of balance. You don't want to have too much of it for too long time, because estrogen is like this energetic friend that is here, that is in a good mood, that jumps around all the time, and she's fun to be around with for one day, maybe a weekend, but after the weekend you will want her to leave and you want to just relax. And this is what it usually does. It comes and then it leaves. But it leaves and it's cleared through your gut. But when your gut isn't well, your gut walls are leaky, you're having all of this dirty environment, your gut bacteria will not be able to work well, and it will not be able to get rid of the estrogen. And too much estrogen can make you moody, it can bloat you, it will worsen PMS symptoms, it will give you things like mood swings, period pain, cravings, which then leads to overeating. And too much estrogen, as it is a building hormone and also builds fat, will give you more fat around your hips, around your thighs, and around your lower belly. If you have more fat around this area, this can be excessive estrogen in your body. So we want to keep our gut working well in order to also be able to get rid of the estrogen again. Then number 2, and I always talk about it, but I feel like this is something that I have to mention again and again until it lands. It is the cortisol. Cortisol is your stress hormone in your body, and it's stress, adrenaline, and noradrenaline. It's cortisol, adrenaline, and noradrenaline, and cortisol is the one that stays when you have long-term stress. So stress in and of itself is important to survive, but if it stays for a long time, you build and store a lot of cortisol in your body, and cortisol is responsible especially for belly fat. It slows down your metabolism, it does not let your body work well, it creates tiredness, and this is a full vicious cycle. When your cortisol levels are too high, forget losing fat effectively, and you will notice it especially in your belly. You can really watch your body when you have a more relaxed time and when you have a more stressed time. I guarantee you it will show up in your belly. And I'm always talking about reducing stress, and people always think, oh, it's unrealistic. I cannot just quit my job or send my kids for adoption or whatever. But it's not about that. It can be so much more simple, and it starts, for example, with your gut. Restore your gut walls, and you will see how your cortisol levels, your stress just drops. Now, next hormones, and you've sure heard about those, are your thyroid hormones. So if you have or you know somebody with a thyroid dysfunction, you know that those people have a really hard time losing weight, and some even have to take medication in order for their metabolism to really work. But a thyroid dysfunction also shows up in fatigue and in just not having enough energy. You can have a thyroid that is functioning way too strong, which is also not a good thing because you're more stressed, you're more overwhelmed, and then a slow functioning thyroid. We want none of those. But with a slow functioning thyroid, our metabolism will be very, very slow, and this leads to you being exhausted at 3 p.m. This leads to weight loss just being almost impossible. So when your gut is not clean, when your gut is not healthy, it impacts your thyroid hormones again, because it just reduces the conversion from T4 to T3, which are your thyroid hormones, and this just slows down your metabolism. So no matter how healthy you eat or how much you train, nothing will work. You see that we always come back to the same. Slowed metabolism, your body not working. And this is what I criticize so much about the fitness industry, that it does not show you the whole picture. It does not see the body as a whole, how it works. It just teaches you eat less, count your calories, calories in, calories out, move more, but it is not as simple. I have experienced it on myself, and I have experienced it on clients. For example, this client I talked about with the stress, that whenever we pushed her training up, she would not lose belly fat, and whenever we relaxed her training, she would lose belly fat. So I've seen situations like hers and many more other situations. Most of my clients, they're not doing too little. A lot of them are doing a lot. They're training 3 times, 5 times a week. I have many clients that come to me and they train 3 times or 6 times a week before they come to me. Then I cut their trainings, I up their calories, they feel like they're eating more and they're doing less, and suddenly they're losing fat. And the explanation for that is your hormones and your organs, especially your gut, impact how your body works. This is something that I've made it my mission to talk about again and again until the last person understands it. And now we want to come to truth number 5, and it is that and it's the good news actually, and it is that the gut bacteria can shift in as little as 24 hours. So we talked about that the gut bacteria orders your pizza, right? But you can also make it order healthy things. So the good thing is that gut bacteria, it responds fast when you feed them the right thing. So it doesn't mean that you have to feed them healthy things for weeks and then maybe they will shift. No, they will shift fast. And when they shift, they do not only crave other things, but they also don't give you bloating. They de-bloat you. They make you feel more energized and feel better. So just keep in mind, if you feed your gut bacteria sugar, alcohol, if you feed them constant stress, then the bad bacteria multiplies and it will create all kinds of problems in your body and slow down your metabolism. But when you feed your bacteria a variety of fiber, protein, good fats, your gut bacteria blooms. And an expert tip is to give your body a great variety of food. And this is also one of the biggest problems I see with women who try to diet and to cut calories and to only eat salad to lose the weight. So you may be eating, I don't know, 1,400 calories or something around that, and working out 5 times a week, and you're gaining belly fat. And then you cry during PMS. You always feel cold, and you just feel like whatever you're doing, it's not working, and you feel overwhelmed. And this is why, because you're stressing your body, and also with that little food that you give your body, you probably don't have a great variety. So you may be eating your chicken, your broccoli, maybe, I don't know, some potatoes, or whatever. So you're giving the body the same things again and again. And your body needs a big variety of things. All kinds of different veggies, but also all kinds of different carbohydrates and fat and protein. So try to eat new things that you haven't eaten before. But this is not possible when you're always eating too little and when you're always giving your body the same. So your gut bacteria thrives in variety. So if you want your body to flourish, your skin to glow, and your metabolism to work, give your gut bacteria a great variety of food. And then you will see how your body reacts. You will feel that you're less bloated. You will feel that your mood improves. Why? Because as we said before, your gut communicates with your brain. Your cravings will calm down, and you will not want to eat the entire bar of chocolate, but one piece will be enough for you. And then you will have the energy to train, you will have the motivation, you will have the good mood, and you will see your belly fat melt. This all shows up when your gut is healthy. So you know the saying, happy wife, happy life? Well, I say happy gut, happy life. And it would not be the Toned and Transformed podcast if it would not correlate with the Word of God. So I want to give you a Bible verse that just shows so beautifully how God has created our bodies, and that science and how our body works just reflects His work. So we said that your gut bacteria can restore in as little as 24 hours, right? The same thing goes for your skin cells, for your immune cells, for your all of your cells. They renew literally every day. Like each night when you sleep, your cells repair, your hormones rebalance, and your digestive system, it resets. And I'm thinking of Lamentations 3:22 to 23 here, this Bible verse where it says, the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. God's mercies are new every morning, and He literally built your body like that. This is why your cells renew themselves every morning. So what I want to encourage you on with this verse is that it does not matter how long you've been dieting without success, how long you've been carrying around with your belly fat, how long you've been avoiding sport, or how much you've done without results, or how much disappointment you may feel because you've done the things but it does not show up. You can always start new with a new knowledge and with a new approach, and your body is really quick to adapt. So the time that you've been carrying around a body that you're not happy with does not matter. You are not defined by your past. You're not defined by your past yo-yo dieting, which, by the way, I have also been there. I used to yo-yo diet 12 to 14 kilos up and down. If you've been following me for a while, you know that. But all of those things, binge eating or other things that may have come up for you in the past, they don't define you. You can start new. You will see how your body adapts fast, because God's mercy renews every day. And this is also why I created my free 3-day flat belly blueprint, which is actually an anti-bloating blueprint, and where in as little as 72 days you can see and feel a difference. Less bloating, more energized, less cravings. There, I am explaining you the 3 main mistakes that women do when it comes to belly fat loss, and you'll get a 3-day meal plan that when you stick to that, you will feel the difference. Because if your cells and your gut bacteria can renew itself and can restore itself and reset itself even in 24 hours, imagine what happens in 3 days, in 72 hours. And if you want to feel and experience that, just send me a message saying blueprint, and you get the blueprint for free from me. And if you're ready to dive in, to go all in, and to have even more huge results, an amazing transformation, and set the foundation to keeping your flat belly and the toned body that you are proud to show off at the beach, you can also hop into my flat belly reset program. This 30-day program is designed to help you lose 5 to 9 centimeters in as little as 30 days. You get the exact blueprint on how to do this. You get the recipes, you get the meals, you will know what to eat, and you will have some flexibility in that. You get my chatbot Harmony that is gonna be your food assistant and also help you with what you can eat, what you cannot eat. You will get some coaching and feedback from me also once a week during those 30 days. And you will get some core specific workouts that will help you snatch your waist, and you will not only see and feel the difference in those 30 days, but it's gonna lay the foundation for the rest. Your metabolism will work so much faster. Your apartment is gonna be clean and stay clean because your gut walls will be restored. So now the rain does not come into your apartment, and now you can keep eating well, keep training, and your body is gonna be able to work with that and to keep yourself in shape, to keep you in shape in an easier way than ever before. The Flat Belly Reset has literally been a game changer for my clients, and I know it will be for you. So if this sounds like this is exactly what you need, then you can also send me a message saying reset, and we can have a conversation whether this is something for you or not, or you can just join right away. I will be very happy to welcome you inside. And for those of you who prefer to do this in German, it's gonna come out in German very, very soon. Mark your calendars, September 15. And with that being said, those were the 5 truths about the gut. They're all scientifically backed up. This is how our body works. And now to summarize again, your gut is like a studio apartment. It has the size of absorption of 32 square meters. This is why it impacts your body so much. Your gut bacteria are like living roommates. They decide whether they want to live with you and help you clean up that apartment or not. Number 3, your gut bacteria can order pizza or healthy food. It depends on how you train them. Truth number 4, your gut hormones are in constant contact and communication with your hormones and impact them greatly, and your hormones impact your fat loss. And truth number 5, your gut bacteria can shift in as little as 24 hours. God's mercies are new every day. So if this blew your mind, if you feel in your core that this is what you have been missing, feel free to reach out to me and I'll be happy to see you inside, and see you in next episode. Bye bye.